You're going to have to excuse the noise on this one. I wanted to film it in a place that I've actually gotten quite comfortable in. We do have a bit of a serious topic today, and it is one that I've kind of avoided bringing up and talking about in the past, mainly because I don't want to, add tension around it or create more drama about something that's actually quite sensitive. It is about a tweet that Oswaldo KATO put out on Twitter just a few days ago. If you don't know who they are, Pokemon card artists. They've drawn fantastic cards like the Origin form Palkia-V, which I personally love, the Charizard V alternate art that was in, let's say, Starburst, that's the one, and the Charizard UPC. They've also drawn Temple of Sinnoh and Collapse Stadium. Those are absolutely goated cards. But basically, Oswaldo KATO put a tweet out just a couple days ago saying that they were no longer going to sign Pokemon cards unless it was at an official Pokemon card event due to a pretty negative fan interaction that they had quite recently. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Pokemon card signing events, you would know that a lot of Pokemon card artists like Mitsuhiro Arita, Kouki Saitou, recently Hitoshi Ariga is one that has signed on, and Midori Harada did one recently at Orlando Regionals. They often go to regionals where Pokemon card tournaments take place. And as an added bonus for those guests and people that go to them, they sign cards. And they're almost always beautiful interactions. They're almost always beautiful events where the artists get to meet the fans that love their cards so much, and they have really positive interactions. Occasionally there's some kind of negative ones, and some things happen that kind of mar the event a little bit, but for the most part the artists love them and the fans love them, or the fans that do get the opportunity to meet them. So Oswaldo KATO put this tweet out because they must have had a pretty terrible experience. They did specifically say it was a negative interaction with a fan that led to the fan then selling the signed card, which is always just a really terrible thing. In Japan they call this tenbaya, which is basically reseller. And when it comes to signed Pokemon cards, it's one of the worst things you can do because it's just a massive sign of disrespect to the person that has signed the card. Almost always when Pokemon card artists sign cards, it's a gift, there's a bit of trust there where they're imparting that trust on the person or the fan to not go on and sell the card and profit off their work. But this is something that's just been happening whenever there's been a Pokemon card signing event, whether it's in the US or in Japan. So Oswaldo KATO has said that they no longer want to sign cards, whether it's at a pop-up event. Sometimes this happens in Japan where there's a pop-up event that they post on Twitter and they say, hey, I'm going to be here, come and meet me. Or if they do them at cons, sometimes they have artist cons, which is really common in Japan, and they sign them there. And sometimes they can't sign Pokemon cards at those events, and they specifically say, I cannot sign Pokemon cards here. Sometimes they just sign art, but it seems that Oswaldo KATO isn't going to be giving out their signature full stop because of this. Now, this isn't the first time a controversy has erupted. Then this isn't so much a controversy, and I don't want to insert drama or tensions onto this topic because it's not about me. And that's a pretty integral point to this whole video, that it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the interaction, it's about the love. So I don't want to insert that. But this isn't the first time that there has been an issue with a fan interaction when it comes to signing Pokemon cards. A few months ago, Kouki Saitou, one of the most famous Pokemon card artists of all time, signed a card for a fan named Akira. And Akira promised Kouki Saitou that he would not sell this card. Akira even proclaimed that on Twitter in a tweet and said, I'm never going to sell this, and I'm going to treasure this forever. And the card was Battle Day Lily, which is one of the most expensive Japanese Pokemon cards, or modern Japanese Pokemon cards ever, period. Within about 2 months or 3 months, that card actually surfaced online. It wasn't being sold specifically by Akira, but it was being sold by a Japanese Pokemon card store for about 16 million yen. From memory. Now, that created a massive storm of controversy on Japanese Twitter, and it's because it was such a massive sign of disrespect to Kouki Saitou. Kouki Saitou even commented publicly on his Twitter account about it, saying that, he was disappointed and it wasn't ideal. And that, this kind of occurrence is going to create problems for signings moving forward. So, there is precedent for this causing tension with Japanese Pokemon card artists, but I kind of shied away from talking about this because it's not up to me to say how they feel and to insert my commentary on what they're feeling, right? But in this instance specifically, Oswaldo KATO has said how sad they are that they've had to come and make this decision. And it's not a decision that they make lightly. They're upset about it because they love the fan interactions. They like meeting you guys. And, I can resonate with this because just recently at EUIC, I met so many people. I met Mudkip trainers, Funchlax, I met Georgina, I met IQ, I met Andreas, I met Jonas. I just met so many fans, and I had so many interactions that were just beautiful and really made this whole journey feel worth it. It was so rewarding for me, and for them, I think it was rewarding too, and it was a nice thing. And for an artist to have that stripped from them because someone is trying to profit off them, and you're gonna have to excuse me if I'm getting a little bit dramatic or emotional, it's because I can feel this. For an artist to have that robbed from them, it's one of the worst things that can happen. And I think it's one of the worst parts about signings, period. Because at the end of the day, signing a card is a gift. When Mitsuhiro Arita and Kouki Saitou do it, it's a gift back to the fans. And this isn't the first time we've had this kind of controversy where artists have almost implied that if it continues down this trajectory, they may not be able to sign in the future. In 2018, there's a massive drama story where, signed card events were off the table basically for years. The pandemic hit and we didn't see them for about 4 years. Now, thankfully, some real prominent members in the community, you guys know who you are, did a lot of work to make sure that signed events would come back, and we've got them back, which is fantastic. We're really grateful to you guys that make these signing events possible. But my worry now is that if it goes unchecked and people continue to just use signing events as a way to profit, we're going to lose them again. And that doesn't make me upset because it means I can't get a signed card that's worth money. It means I'm upset because I don't get the opportunity to meet artists that, I adore and love. I was very fortunate to have a card signed by Kouki Saitou, thanks to a friend of mine. You know who you are, and I'm forever indebted to you. You've got that on video now, so, when I die, that's in the will. You get a little bit of my collection. But I know from hearing stories from my friends how difficult it is to get those signatures and how impactful it is and how much more it means to them to have them. You meet the artist after lining up for, from 2 a.m. You take time off work, you travel across the country and you're staying up till ungodly hours, and then you finally meet your favorite artist and you get them to sign your card. It's truly beautiful. The people that take those events and use them as a way to make money, I'm not creating this video to call them out specifically because I could, but personally I don't think that calling out the people that are making this problem is going to solve the issue. And in the past, people have called them out. Now, that's not to say that it's not helping, okay? I just think it's a very sensitive topic, and from my personal interaction with Pokemon card artists, they don't like the extra attention that comes around them. So whatever they say is their word, their statement, leave it at that, and don't infer anything else. And I want to be as respectful as I can to those artists that I've had the pleasure and been as fortunate as I am to speak to. But I do know that if it continues to go unchecked, we may lose these signing events, period. Now, creating tension around it is going to amplify that and make it worse. And I want to be super clear. The people that have spoken about him, instead of dancing around it, okay, Opossum Butt, he's spoken about it a lot, right? And he's a good friend of mine. I don't see everything eye to eye with him, but I think that's what makes friendship so important, is that, even if you don't agree with everything they say, you still respect them. Possum, you've done fantastic work around this, and I'm glad you've actually spoken about it and said something, because many others don't. What I'm saying though, maybe we need to just shift our strategy here and try something a little bit different, which is ignore those people. Yeah, I don't like them either. I think what they're doing is disgusting, and I think they're the lowest, saddest people on this planet. But don't platform them. Sorry, and Possum, this isn't a call out to you. Sorry, we're doing this ad lib. I'm getting a little bit passionate. This isn't a call out to you, Possum. What I'm trying to get across here is I just don't think we should call them out anymore. We should just stop buying the cards. And Possum and your fans and your community and my community, we're not buying these cards. But there are people out there that are buying them. After these signed events, you're always seeing people post cards slabbed on PWCC, and they sell for exorbitant amount of money. Even if they just say 2 Trainer or 2 Charizard, they still get a sale, no matter what. Don't buy those cards. And if you see this video, and this isn't a ploy to get you to share the video and for me to get clout, no, I'm being as sincere as I possibly can here. If you see this video and it resonates with you, share it with somebody that might not know about this issue, because no one really speaks about it, and it's kind of just flies under the radar. And if it continues to fly under the radar, then the whole thing's going to get worse, and it's just going to blow up. So if it resonates with you, share the video with somebody, show them this, tell them this story, and maybe they'll pass it on to somebody else, until eventually, Hembaya, those sellers, they're not going to have anybody to sell to, and they're just going to stop going to these events. The grift is over, And yeah, maybe we'll be able to have signing events, and we won't have artists that obviously truly love their community. We won't have them move away and, you know, resent coming to these things. It's the absolute worst outcome, and it's the trajectory that we're heading on. It just seems that in this world, whenever you have a nice thing, it just always gets undone. It's a sad reality, but if people keep speaking up and getting that point across to others, maybe we'll be able to stop it. That's my hope. I do tend to shy away from these videos again because I don't want to speak on behalf of artists. This is just my opinions. I just want to see artists stick around, and I'm sad whenever they leave. So that's all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.